What if we could actually regenerate our aging joints instead of just managing the pain or, worst case, replacing them entirely? Well, today we are diving into some absolutely groundbreaking science that might just reverse age-related damage in our joints and muscles. This could be a game changer for conditions like osteoarthritis. So let's break down how this new approach could change, well, everything.
All right, so here's our roadmap. First, we'll tackle the problem of age-related decline. Then we're going to meet a new molecular villain called a gerozyme and see the brilliant mechanism to shut it down. We'll look at some stunning preclinical evidence, follow the journey from mice to human trials, and then, finally, map out the road to the clinic.
For millions of us, getting older seems to go hand in hand with an inevitable physical decline. You get those creaky joints from osteoarthritis and muscle weakness from a condition called sarcopenia. But here's the big question. Is this decline really set in stone? And that is the exact question that scientists at Stanford University wanted to challenge. For so long, the wearing down of our cartilage and the wasting away of our muscles has just been seen as a one-way street, a sad but unavoidable part of aging.
And make no mistake, the scale of this problem is huge. The FDA estimates that up to one-third of Americans over 60 are affected by sarcopenia, that age-related muscle weakness. And that, of course, dramatically increases the risk of falls, fractures, and ultimately, a loss of independence.
Up until now, our medical toolkit for this has been, well, pretty limited. We can manage the pain with anti-inflammatories, or we can go for the nuclear option, a total joint replacement. But notice what both of those have in common. Neither of them actually fixes the root cause. They don't regenerate the tissue that's been lost.
Okay, but what if we've been looking at the root cause all wrong? This brings us to the core discovery, which introduces a brand new kind of molecular bad guy and totally rethinks what's happening at a cellular level as we age.
So get this. The old theory was that as we age, our body's factories for making these really important repair molecules just slow down. A failure of production, right? But this new theory completely flips that on its head. It's not that the factories are failing, it's that there's a saboteur in the system actively destroying the repair molecules as fast as they're made. It's an acceleration of destruction.
And researchers have given this saboteur a name, a gerozyme. You can think of it as an anti-longevity enzyme. It's a specific type of enzyme that, you guessed it, we make more of as we get older. And its entire job is to seek and destroy the very molecules that keep our tissues young and functioning properly.
So who is this villain? Well, they've identified it. It's an enzyme called 15-prostaglandin dehydrogenase, or just 15-PDH for short. Now in young, healthy tissues, muscle, cartilage, even the brain, its levels are nice and low. But in aged tissues, the levels just skyrocket, creating this hostile environment where regeneration basically grinds to a halt.
Okay, so if 15-PDDH is the problem, how do we stop it? Well, the solution here is just beautifully simple. It's like finding a leak in your house and realizing all you have to do is plug the drain. The whole key is understanding one specific molecular pathway. Right, so check this out. When we're young, levels of that villain 15-PDH are low. That allows this super important repair molecule called Prostaglandin E2, or PGE2, to do its job and keep our tissues healthy. But as we age, high levels of 15-PDH act like a wide-open drain, just constantly flushing away our supply of PGE2. So the big breakthrough? It's a small molecule that inhibits 15-PDH. It literally plugs the drain, allowing PGE2 levels to build back up to youthful levels and kickstart the body's own incredible repair mechanisms.
So that's the theory, right? It sounds great, but does it actually work? Well, this is where the evidence from the animal studies gets really, really exciting. We're not just talking about slowing down decline here. We're talking about a functional reversal of age-related damage.
And this image just says it all. I mean, wow. Look on the left. You see that thick, healthy cartilage from a young mouse, stains that bright, vibrant red. Now look to the right. That's cartilage from an old mouse with osteoarthritis after it was treated with the 15-PDGH inhibitor. That worn-down, faded tissue has become thick and bright red again. It almost perfectly resembles the young, healthy tissue. It's amazing.
And the benefits weren't just in the joints. In these aged mice, this one single intervention restored withered muscle mass and strength. It regenerated that critical joint cartilage, and it even tightened the leaking blood-brain barrier. And you could see it in how they moved. The mice had a much steadier gait, which strongly suggests they were in a lot less pain and had way better mobility.
And here's what's so revolutionary, according to lead researcher Helen Blau. They thought maybe they were activating stem cells, but that wasn't it at all. Instead, the drug was actually rejuvenating the existing cells, coaxing them back into a healthier, more youthful state. It's like you're not rebuilding the house, you're just fixing the local environment so the house can repair itself. It's incredible.
Now, of course, incredible results in mice are one thing, but the ultimate goal is a therapy that helps people. So let's take a look at how this science is making that all-important jump from the lab bench to the clinic.
The company pushing this forward is called Iperium Bio. They've developed a clinical candidate, a once-daily pill called MF300. This is the drug that actually inhibits that 15-PGDH enzyme, and it's the one being tested in human trials right now. You can really see the step-by-step progress here. It all started with that muscle rejuvenation discovery back in 2021. Fast forward to 2025, and a phase 1 human trial confirmed the drug was safe and, crucially, that it was hitting its target. Then came that blockbuster finding about cartilage regeneration, and now they're gearing up for a phase 2 trial to see if it actually works in patients with sarcopenia. This table is a fantastic summary of exactly where things stand. So the claims about rejuvenating muscle, regenerating cartilage, and protecting the brain barrier, all strongly confirmed in mouse models. And most importantly, we have verification from a phase 1 trial that it's safe in humans, at least in the short term. The next huge step is proving it works in patients.
So the path forward is incredibly promising. But let's be realistic. It's not without its challenges. It's really important to take a clear-eyed look at the hurdles that still need to be cleared before this could become a treatment you can get from your doctor.
Okay, there are 3 really big ones. First is something called the NSAID paradox. Painkillers like ibuprofen work by blocking PGE2 production. This drug works by saving PGE2. You literally can't do both at once, one would cancel out the other. Second, long-term safety. While everything looks good so far, there's a theoretical risk that constantly elevating PGE2 could accelerate polyp growth in people already prone to colon cancer. And finally, humans are not giant mice. Our repair cycles are much, much slower, so those dramatic results we saw in a month might take a lot longer in people.
It's also important to remember this isn't happening in a vacuum. This discovery is part of a massive wave of innovation in treating osteoarthritis. We've got other approaches like targeting cell metabolism or developing new injectable systems that coax our own bodies into making repairs. The whole field of joint repair is just exploding with potential right now.
So, the billion-dollar question. When could a treatment like this actually be available? Well, if you look at the standard clinical trial timelines, you're probably looking at 2 to 3 years for phase 2, another 3 to 5 years for the big phase 3 trials, and then maybe a year or 2 for FDA approval. So even though the science is moving at lightning speed, a prescription is still quite a few years down the road.
Which brings us right back to where we started. Will we one day be able to truly regenerate our aging joints? Based on this science, the answer is looking more and more like a resounding yes. This idea of endogenous stem cell therapy in a pill, of simply fixing our body's own environment to let our cells do the work, it's not science fiction anymore. It's a real, tangible goal on the clinical horizon.